that we were meant to have a blessed, wonderful experience, joy-filled experience on planet Earth. We're not sent here as a test. This is not a universal pop quiz, where passing it means celestial whoopee and failing it means eternal damnation. That's crazy stuff. That's not what's going on. What's going on is that we are the expanding expression of Spirit in form as us now. And the more that we can open up to that, and the more that we can let go of those limiting beliefs and ideas, those fears and those old things that have had us tied to the experiences in our lives that we no longer want to have, the more that our life gets better and better and better. But it's not always a pretty sight. A lot of people say, oh, can't we just have ease and grace? If you have the consciousness for ease and grace, you can. So you want to treat for ease and grace? Wonderful. If it doesn't demonstrate, suck it up and deal with it. It doesn't mean that you don't have to grow, you don't have to let go, you don't have to process just because it was difficult. Sometimes difficulty for me has been that impetus that has moved me through the creations of my life. And will I sometime get to a point where it's not as difficult as it has been in the past? Yes, but I'm not going to complain about it if it requires something of me. It reminds me of the story of the emperor moth. The emperor moth is a big moth. And one day, a man found a cocoon of an emperor moth. He took it home so that he could watch the moth come out of the cocoon. He sat and watched the moth struggle to force the body through that little hole. Then it seemed to stop making any progress. It appeared as if it had gotten as far as it could, and it could go no further. It seemed to be stuck. Have you ever felt that way? You seem to be stuck. Then the man, being kind, decided to help the moth. Notice the triangle coming in. I'm going to rescue this moth. I'm going to save the day. So he took a pair of scissors and snipped off the remaining bit of the cocoon. The moth then emerged easily, but it had a swollen body and small, shriveled wings. He expected that the wings would enlarge and expand to be able to support the body, which would contract in time. Neither happened. In fact, the little moth spent the rest of its life crawling around with a swollen body and shriveled wings. It never was able to fly. A few days later, it died. What the man in his kindness and haste did not understand was that the restricting cocoon and the struggle required for the moth to get through the tiny opening was the way of forcing fluid from the body of the moth into its wings so that it would be ready for flight. Once it achieved its freedom from the cocoon, freedom and flight would only come after the struggle. By depriving the moth of a struggle, he deprived the emperor moth of its health. And I'm not saying that everything is a struggle, but sometimes it is. And sometimes when we look at ourselves and say, who is the me that lived the life that I am ready to live, that I'm ready to leave? And who is the me that can live the life that I am ready to have? Sometimes that's not easy. Sometimes we have to let go of ideas that we have. We have to let go of fears that we've had. We have to let go of things that have happened to us. And we have to let go of how we see the world. Sometimes in order to embrace a greater us yet to be, and the life that goes with that, we have to be willing to let go of the old.